Welcome to a video lecture on power electronics. Okay, so here we will concentrate on the different types of power electronic circuits or converters. Okay, so the different types of power electronic converters are, so here we have first one AC to DC converter, which is also called as uncontrolled or diode rectifier. Second one again AC to DC converter. The objective of these two concepts remains same, but this one is called as a controlled rectifier. Then third one DC to DC converter, that is inverter. Then DC to DC converter, which is also called as a chopper. Then finally now AC to AC converter, that is AC voltage controller. Okay, these are the converters what we have, and we will just concentrate on what kind of switches that we can make use of. That is the last one, static switches. Okay, so in this particular video lecture, so we will have a discussion on the operation or the working of these two converters. Okay, so how it is possible to convert a given value of fixed AC input voltage to variable value of DC output voltage. Okay, you have to check. So once you convert AC to DC, if you are capable of changing the value of output voltage, then it is called as a controlled rectifier. Okay, so in this first concept, once you get the output voltage, okay, if it is not possible to vary the value of output voltage, then we can say it is a diode rectifier or uncontrolled rectifier. So we will concentrate on the working of these two converters in this particular video lecture. Okay, in upcoming video lecture we will concentrate on the function of rest of the types of power electronic circuits. Okay, now let us see the first one, AC to DC converter. Okay, so which is also called as uncontrolled or diode rectifier. So you can concentrate on the circuit diagram and waveform. Okay, so this is your first one. Okay, uncontrolled rectifier. Okay, now as far as circuit diagram is concerned, okay, so here you can feed single phase or three phase AC supply. So the reason is being that the title itself suggests that the input must be AC, the output what you are getting it must be DC. Therefore, you are feeding single phase, either single phase or three phase AC input voltage. Then you are making use of a center type transformer in order to construct this particular circuit diagram. So center type transformer is being used. Then you have two diodes. This is diode D1 and diode D2, and you are making use of a load. Okay, so one important observation what you have to do here is that, so this load what you are considering, it must be a resistive load. Okay, the same thing can be realized for rest of all the loads, inductive load, capacitive load. So right now we will assume that this load is a resistive load. Alright, now this is the simple circuit diagram what you can form here. And the nature of input voltage waveform is being shown here. Okay, this is by default one AC input voltage what you are feeding. Now let us see how it is possible to convert this AC input voltage to DC output voltage. Alright, so that output voltage you will get here. Now let us see. So whenever you want to analyze any given circuit, okay, when the input is AC, the way in which you have to analyze is that, so just have to look at this waveform. This is the input voltage what you are feeding. So what happens during positive half cycle of input voltage from 0 to pi? You have to check. So what is that particular diode that will be forward biased and reverse biased? Is it diode D1 or is it diode D2? Then you have to check what will be the direction of flow of current during positive half cycle of input voltage. Okay, the same thing holds good when you go for negative half cycle from pi to 2 pi. You have to check what will be the direction of flow of current, what is that diode that will be forward bias and what is that diode that will be reverse bias. Okay, then you have to apply the KVL. So once you apply the KVL in either of the loops here, then only it is possible to draw the output voltage waveform. Okay, now this is just a brief highlights. Now let us see how it is possible to convert from AC to DC. Okay, now you can write, so you can say here, during the time duration from 0 to pi, you have a positive half cycle. So here value of input voltage will be positive. Okay, so during time duration from 0 to pi, as you have a positive half cycle, so this terminal, this polarity remains same. This will be positive and negative, and current will flow in this direction through this primary winding. Okay, now, so once the direction of flow of current is like this, then this upper portion of secondary winding, so you have upper portion and lower portion of secondary winding. So this upper portion of secondary winding will be energized as the direction of flow of current like this, and this lower portion of secondary winding, it remains de-energized. So in this case here, as this upper portion of secondary winding is being energized, therefore the current will flow in this direction. Alright. Now, when the current flows in this direction, look at the direction of diode D1 here. This is your anode, this is cathode, positive and negative, and current is entering at this anode terminal, that is acceptable. Okay, current will flow from anode to cathode. So this means what this diode D1 will support. It will be forward biased, hence it acts as a short circuit. Okay, now there is the path for the current to flow through this diode D1. Alright, now when current flows through this diode D1 here, it will flow in this direction, alright, and it will enter at this point. Okay, now the current will find two paths here. Either it has to move in downward direction or it has to take this left direction. Okay, now if the current tries to flow in this downward direction, look at the direction of flow of current. Now look at the direction of the diode which is being placed here. Now the current is entering to this cathode terminal of diode T2. This is not acceptable. This means what? So we have this line here. Basically, diode is a unidirectional device. Current has to flow from anode to cathode only. Okay. Now, when the current flows through this cathode terminal, then immediately this diode D2 will be reverse bias and it acts as an open circuit. It remains in off state only. There exists no path for the current to flow. Okay. Now, when the current it takes this left direction here and the current flows through this resistive load, okay, and it completes its path. Okay, so therefore during positive half cycle of input voltage from 0 to pi, the direction of flow of current will be, so it starts from this plus Vs, positive Vs, then diode D1, then it flows through load and it will come back to this negative terminal of the supply voltage. Okay, that is the secondary voltage. Okay, now we have found what will be the direction of flow of current. Now simply apply KVL in this particular loop. Okay, now current is moving in this direction here. Alright, so this is positive, negative we have. Okay, so we have plus Vs. Okay, so as you are in positive half cycle, input voltage will be positive. Okay, now here you can write a sentence like here. So during positive half cycle of input voltage, so once you applying KVL, now, so this will be plus Vs. Okay, now current flows through diode D1, it flows through load, so it is entering in this particular direction here, plus, minus, so it will be minus V0. Plus Vs minus V0 is equal to 0, so here you will get plus Vs is equal to plus V0. Okay, now look at this equation here. So this is plus Vs is equal to plus V0. This equation suggests that the value of this input voltage in positive half cycle, so that will be exactly equal to, its magnitude will be exactly equal to the value of output voltage in positive half cycle. Okay, so keeping in view of this equation, now you can draw the output voltage waveform. Okay, so the value of input voltage in positive half cycle, it must be equal to value of output voltage in positive half cycle. The amplitude must be exactly same. Alright. Now suppose if this is your 10 volt peak to peak, just an example, then your positive half cycle will be plus 5 volt, negative half cycle will be minus 5 volt. So now the amplitude will be plus 5 volt here, so here you should get plus 5 volt. Alright. Now the same amplitude you try to draw here. This is the output voltage what you are getting. So this is during positive half cycle of input voltage. Now let us see what happens during negative half cycle of input voltage from pi to 2 pi. Alright. Now, so during that negative half cycle, so this polarity will be reversed. Okay. Now your negative half cycle value of input voltage will be negative. Current flows in opposite direction. Now it will flow in this direction. So when current flows in this direction, then this lower portion of secondary winding gets energized, whereas this one will be de-energized. So in that case, so now the current will flow through this diode D2. Now direction of flow of current is acceptable for this diode D2. It is entering the anode terminal of this diode D2, hence it will support. It will be forward biased, hence it starts conducting. There is the path for the current to flow. Now current will flow in this direction and it will reach at this point. It finds two paths. If it tries to go in upward direction, then this diode D1 will not support. It will be reverse bias, hence it acts as an open circuit. Alright. Now current will flow through this load here. It will flow in this direction. Alright, and it completes its path like this. Okay, now you can apply KVL. Okay, so before applying KVL, what will be the direction of flow of current during negative half cycle? It will be here. It starts from minus Vs here, then diode T2. So this will be your polarity will be same, and it flows to load, and it will come back to negative terminal of the supply. This will be the direction of flow of current during negative half cycle of input voltage. Now apply KVL here. If you apply KVL, what you will get? You are in negative half cycle. So this is positive negative. This will be minus Vs. So minus Vs. Then current is flowing to D2. And again the direction of flow of current through the load is same. Okay, concentrate on this sentence. Okay, whether you are in positive half cycle or negative half cycle, the direction of flow of current it remains same. Okay, positive half cycle current was flowing in this direction. Negative half cycle also current was flowing in this direction. Okay, so once you concentrate on this particular point here, whenever the current flowing through this load, okay, either in positive half cycle or negative half cycle, if it is same, then you just assume that you are about to get the DC output voltage. Okay, now the direction of flow of current is same to the load, hence you are supposed to get the DC output voltage. Okay, now so this will be minus V0, minus Vs minus V0 is equal to 0. So therefore minus Vs is equal to plus V0. Okay, what is the value of input voltage here? This is minus 5 volt. Minus 5 volt will be equal to plus 5 volt. Okay, now this is minus 5 volt and this will be your plus 5 volt. Okay, so you can just modify the amplitude here, respective value of output voltage, just have to drop. Okay, now concentrate on this here. So we have converted a given value of AC input voltage to DC output voltage. Okay, now this is a pulsating DC output voltage which has some sort of distortion, but it can be utilized. Okay, now why it is called as uncontrolled rectifier? That is the question here. As you are making use of a diode here, okay, suppose say if you are getting the value of output voltage as, let us say 10 volt DC. Alright, so if you are getting 10 volt DC, if you want to get a 9 volts of DC output voltage, then you don't have any provision to vary this output voltage. Okay, as you are making use of a diode here. Okay, input is fixed one, output is also fixed one, so only it is called as an uncontrolled one. You cannot have control over the amplitude of this output voltage, so it is called as an uncontrolled rectifier. Alright, so this is the first concept. Okay, and when you go for the second concept, AC to DC converter, that will be your controlled rectifier. Okay, if you are capable of understanding the first one, the second one can be analyzed very easily with a slight modification. Alright, now let us say this is your controlled rectifier. Second concept, the only modification what you have to do in circuit diagram is that in place of diode, you just make use of thyristor. Simply add one gate terminal here, that will become your thyristor. This is T1, and add one more gate here, this will be your thyristor T2. Okay, so basically thyristor, so we have seen the basics of thyristor in the previous online class. Then this, as you have 3 terminals, anode, cathode and gate. Right? Now let us say if you make use of thyristor, how it is possible to have a control over the output voltage and how it is called as a control rectifier. That you will see. Okay, and analysis remains same. So input is again AC, output is DC. Alright. Now the way of analysis of this concept also remains same as that of previous one. During positive half cycle from 0 to pi. Okay, the same sentences you can feel free to write in your exam. During positive half cycle of input voltage from 0 to pi, the direction of flow of current will be like this. This will be positive, this will be negative. So again upper portion of secondary winding gets energized. Now current will try to flow through this thyristor T1. Okay, current is entering the anode terminal of this thyristor T1 acceptable, but this thyristor T1 will not be turned on. Okay, so but instead it will operate under forward blocking mode. Okay, we will get into the depth of this forward blocking mode once we deal with this thyristor. Okay, now this we can just say that this thyristor is in still off state. It is not conducting. The reason is being that until and unless you apply this gate voltage here, gate pulse, this thyristor will not be turned on. Now current is flowing in this direction. Once gate voltage to thyristor T1 is applied, then this thyristor T1 will be turned on. It acts as a short circuit. Now current will flow in this direction. It flows to the load. Now what will be the direction of flow of current? It will be plus Vs. Thyristor T1 in place of V1, just make it as T1. Then load back to negative terminal of the supply. Okay. Now if you apply KVL, the same thing you will get. Plus Vs is equal to plus V0. Value of input voltage in positive half cycle will be equal to value of output voltage in positive half cycle. So when you go for negative half cycle, during negative half cycle from pi to 2 pi, now lower portion of secondary one gets energized. What would be the reason? This polarity will be changed. Now current will flow in opposite direction. Therefore, this lower portion of secondary one gets energized. Current will try to flow in this direction. Now current is entering at this particular direction here. So if you are not applying gate voltage here, then this thyristor T2 remains in off state only. It operates under forward blocking mode. Okay. Now once you apply the gate voltage, gate pulse here, then all junctions will be forward biased. Now current will flow through thyristor T2 and through the load. Direction of flow of current remains same. Alright. Now the current flows from this minus plus Vs, thyristor T2, then load, it will come back to negative terminal of the supply. And if you apply KVL here, what you will get? Same thing. Minus Vs is equal to plus V0. Value of input voltage in negative half cycle will be equal to value of output voltage in positive half cycle. Now, the circuit diagram, only change what you have done. In place of diode, you have replaced with thyristor. And when you go for the waveform, it remains exactly same. Then how can you say that it is a control rectifier? Okay, now the reason why it is called as control rectifier is just because, so if you have a thyristor, there is a provision called as firing angle alpha that can be set, okay, for the operation of this thyristor here. Alright, now if the firing angle is set from 0 to alpha, so this suggests that during this time duration from 0 to alpha, your thyristor T1 is not conducting. Firing angle means what? So this portion of output voltage will be fired. It will be removed. Okay, so let us say this is 130 degree. Up to 30 degree, so totally you have 180 degree. Up to 30 degree, your thyristor T1 is not conducting, though you are applying the gate voltage. Now from alpha to pi, your thyristor T1 will conduct now. From alpha to at alpha, so firing angle which was set to thyristor T1, it will be removed at alpha. Now thyristor T1 will conduct fully. Therefore, up to alpha, you will not get the output voltage. So this portion of output voltage will be eliminated. Same thing holds to the negative half cycle. Again, you can set a firing angle of 30 degree. So up to this time duration, so your thyristor T2 will not conduct. So but from this, let us say this is pi plus alpha, but from pi plus alpha to 2 pi, your thyristor T2 will conduct. Therefore, this portion of output voltage will be eliminated. This portion is eliminated. So you can see here, so the value of output voltage is reducing. Go on increasing the value of firing angle, so the value of output voltage can be reduced. Okay, if it is 10 volt, if you want to get 7 volt, 6 volt, then go on increasing the value of firing angle so that you can have a control over output voltage. So it is called as a controlled rectifier. Alright. So I hope you people have understood these two concepts. So if you have any doubts, any clarification is required, then feel free to raise the question. Alright. Have a nice day.